From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 28th, 2019. Amid reports of a deal reached with terror group Hamas for an end to incendiary balloons, a number of such devices were still sent over the border fence from Gaza today, sparking fires once again in southern Israel. Israel had reportedly agreed to a number of economic concessions for Gaza in exchange for an end to the devices, which yesterday sparked over 24 fires. Israeli media cited an unnamed official saying that in response to a request from the United Nations and Egypt, Israel will return the fishing zone to 15 nautical miles and the flow of fuel in light of a promise that Hamas will stop the violence against Israel. If Hamas will not abide by this commitment, Israel will reinstate sanctions. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's political rivals criticized any such deal with Hamas, claiming that it is a surrender to the terror group. The second Democratic U.S. presidential debate took place last night, mostly focusing on race and social issues, as well as immigration. U.S. Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado, whose mother is Jewish and a Holocaust survivor, made the comparison in his remarks to her experience in regards to the Trump administration's policy of separating migrant children from their parents.
When I see these kids at the border, I see my mom because I know she sees herself, because she was separated from her parents for years during the Holocaust in Poland.
U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations Jason Greenblatt called Jewish settlements in the West Ridge, commonly referred to as the West Bank, by a different term today, and also argued that they are not the main impediment to peace with the Palestinians. Speaking at the Israel Hayom Forum on U.S.-Israel relations in Jerusalem, Greenblatt said of a possible peace deal,
"We might get there if people stop pretending settlements, or what I like to call neighborhoods and cities, are the reason for the lack of peace."
Israel's left-wing Meretz party named a new leader last night. Nitzan Horowitz becomes the first openly gay person to lead a political party in Israel. Horowitz said he would fight against religious coercion and support social justice issues. It's possible that newly announced candidate, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, could look to merge his party with Meretz and with the Labor Party ahead of the September elections in Israel. That remains, of course, to be seen. The IDF shared news today of the first Druze pilot in the Israel Air Force. Lieutenant G, as he is known for security reasons, got his wings at a ceremony at Hatzirim Air Base in the Negev, in a ceremony attended by Prime Minister Netanyahu and Israel's President Reuven Rivlin. The Druze are a minority in Israel known for their loyal IDF service. The Dutch railway system announced a project to offer compensation to the survivors and relatives of Holocaust victims who were transported by Dutch rail to Nazi concentration camps during the Holocaust. One-time payments of about $17,000 will be given to each living Holocaust survivor. Widows and widowers of victims will receive half of that amount. Children of victims will receive up to half of that amount. This after a campaign for such compensation was initiated by Holocaust survivor Salo Muller. President of the World Jewish Congress, Ronald Lauder, welcomed the decision, noting that the National Railway collaborated with the Nazis. Lauder said it is critical and should be non-negotiable for every single European government to acknowledge and take responsibility for their role in the mass murder of so many Jews and other minorities. Indeed, he said, without the willing involvement of these national companies, millions of innocent lives might have been spared from the tentacles of the Nazis' final solution. A Picasso painting sold under duress by a Jewish family fleeing the Nazis in Germany will not be returned to its original owner's heirs. Reuters reported that the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in New York City ruled on Wednesday that the family of Paul Lefman waited too long to ask for the actor to be returned to them, so it will stay at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, where it was donated in 1952. Jewish Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was honored with the 2019 Gillel Storch Award from the Stockholm-based organization Jewish Culture in Sweden. Haaretz reports Ginsburg will donate the funds from the prize to 3 organizations, one in Sweden, one in the U.S., and one in Israel. The Hand in Hand school system will receive a $9,000 grant for its network of bilingual schools where Jewish and Arab Israeli children learn and play together.
From the earliest grades, the children are taught to speak, read, and write in Hebrew and in Arabic. They learn of the shared values of Jews, Muslims, and Christians, among them helping others, welcoming strangers, opposing oppression, and caring for the earth.
Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, June the 28th. Live Kabbalat Shabbat services are coming up at 7 from the Hampton Synagogue, followed by services from Central Synagogue. At 9, it's the film Time to Say Goodbye. At 10:30, Musica with Eric Berman. And coming up right after this newscast, a discussion of Rabbi Joseph Telushkin's book, Rebbe, The Life and Teachings of Menachem Schneerson, followed by a look at this week's Torah portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, June the 28th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.